Hello. Apologies for the delay. This might be a bit of a short stream today, solely based on the fact that I was having some issues with OBS. I couldn't get the stream going, which is always fun. But in the meantime, let's play some Illusion of Gaia. Sorry, I'm just fudging around with monitors. I'm going to share this out on social media and let people know we're going live. And then we can, yeah, I mean, it might be a bit of a shorter stream, but that's okay because we're like halfway through the floating gardens. So maybe we can finish them before we carry on. So let's go. Da, da, da. I've got my analog NT running through a capture card to stream with, but then I also have it connected just like directly into my monitor via HDMI so that I can play it and it looks good. So I have to mess around with my monitors a little bit ahead of that. But here we go. We are picking up. We're like, what, halfway through Illusion of Gaia. This is the retranslated version, which I think is pretty fun. You know, I've talked, you know, at length about how I feel like they, I feel like the retranslation is lacking a little bit. I think that there are too many just too many issues with it. And, you know, and if you're going to retranslate something, even something that has sort of a poor, localization to begin with, you need to work on making sure that it's rock solid. And I would say that this one had, you know, maybe a few too many issues, but alas. What I do like are a lot of the quality of life upgrades, a lot of the, you know, visual changes and stuff that we can enjoy, and I'm sure we'll see as we play through here. Okay, I can't quite remember where I got to the last time around. Did I get any more orbs? One of the nice things, though, is that enemies, once you've defeated them, they're gone in Illusion of Gaia. And so if you can't remember where you're going or where you've been, just go find the enemies. Ooh, yeah, this is a fun little puzzle. You gotta run, and then it's the other ramp is not like directly lined up with where you're running from, so you have to kind of like parkour your way over there. There we go. It has been a little while since I played Illusion of Gaia. I streamed the 2026 version of Doom not a couple weeks ago, which was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that, but was intending to get back to Illusion of Gaia and then ended up getting a little sick for a week. So it has been a little while, but glad to be back. I do like how, like, the bad guys in this, the enemies sort of get progressively more complex as we go along. Like, those wormy guys are now dropping, like, bombs, I guess, when they die. I'm not really entirely sure. So there's this, like, gap. I want to stop and in the middle there instead of returning to the beginning. This is one of my favorite dungeons in Illusion of Gaia. Obviously, like, the being able to go upside down onto the bottom is always fun, but I just think it's a neat design, neat little navigational puzzles and stuff that lean into sort of what makes navigation and exploration in this game interesting, which is that it uses a lot of, like, you know, a lot of verticality, a lot of like, you know, multiple layers, having to kind of keep a map in your head of maybe, you know, where you've been in the dungeon, where you're going, where things are in relation to each other. That's kind of cool. Now, I am not paying attention, and I'm getting smoked by a lot of these bad guys. One of the nice additions, you know, which I've talked about previously, is in this version of the game, is that the herbs in this patch, I should say, is that the healing herbs you can optionally, so you don't have to, but you can optionally set it so that healing herbs fill your health bar instead of just doing 8 points of health, which is nice, because, you know, my major criticism of this game is that it having like a finite number of healing items is probably a negative overall, I would say. Okay, I might need to be Will for something coming up, but I don't remember, or I haven't seen anything like to this point that tells me I need to switch on over to Will. So I'm gonna stay as Friedan. Oh wow. Like, is there a way could I get past these guys? Or do I just have to like get hit? Maybe he'll go up here. Ha 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 ha. Is that all that's over there? Just some enemies and the save spot? That's weird. Okay, I'm back here where I could hop down there and get back to the top. That's not what I wanted to do, though. Okay, let's do this again. Fortunately, like I was saying, enemies disappear for good once you've defeated them once, and so backtracking in Illusion of Gaia is not, you know, too irritating. Just a little. And of course, there's no grinding in this game because of the way level ups work. In each area, in each like map section, you can see here, there's 5 enemies left. If I defeat that, I get that force item, which will increase my health or my defense or my attack power. And so there's no, like no grinding. You just, you know, you get what you get if you clear out the dungeons. And that's where you're at. Okay. So I need to open that up, I guess. But I did also see this. Let's go check the other side. Okay. Treasure chests always seem very exciting in games. Especially if you're used to something like Zelda, but in Illusion of Gaia, they're not often all that exciting. But obviously that's not a way to progress, it's a way to get back to the underside after you've opened that. How do I open that? Usually you progress or open like gated pathways by defeating certain enemies within the dungeon. But that hasn't happened yet. What's that? Can I hit that thing? I do have this projectile, which might help. Now, can I... Aha. I like how it just disappears. There's no animation. There's not even like a sound effect of it disappearing. It just... the sprite just turns off. It's great. Good stuff. Okay. Wow. So I think... okay, there we go. That's a good example. I just defeated the last of the enemies in this area, and so my defense raised, which is nice. Let's see... if I do have a criticism of the floating gardens or whatever they're called. It's that everywhere kind of looks the same, so it can be easy to get lost. But that's honestly sort of true of every dungeon in Illusion of Gaia. It can be quite easy to get lost, and it's not the type of game that I sort of have like encyclopedic memory of, like many other games that I just like I've played so many times, or I'm so familiar with them that I can just sort of, you know, run through them without having to think. So here we are, we're back at the treasure chest, and that's a good example of what I was speaking of earlier, that like sometimes it can be useful in Illusion of Gaia to have sort of like a mental map of where you are in the dungeon, and maybe where like other, you know, where you would be in relation to other areas that you've seen. And so I've kind of circled back in sort of like a, you know, Dark Souls-y, Zelda-y way, which is obviously satisfying for many reasons. And I got, what did I get in there? Crystal Orb in that first one, and there's 2 treasure chests. I did mention, I think, that, you know, sometimes treasure chests aren't always the most exciting in Illusion of Gaia, but I do think getting progression items is always good. I might end up getting like a healing herb out of this one. You know, so we're not talking like, yeah, so I got a healing herb. We're not talking like Zelda where you're getting, you know, like the new item or whatever it is that you need to progress through the dungeon, but you are getting, you know, you are getting an item to progress through the dungeon, but you're not getting something fun like, you know, the new major item in Zelda, or a heart piece or whatever. So I have the next crystal ball. I can go back to the beginning, and so I need to get 4 of them. And so how many do I have? 1, 2. Well, I've placed 1. I have another one, or do I can't remember what I got last time, but let's see. Can I place them as Freedan? The mid-air gardens underside is also its surface. If you jump down from a cliff, there's, oh, maybe I have to be Will to place them? Oh, no. Or do I just have to go into my... I can't even turn into Will in that one. Maybe I need to just go into my, of course, inventory. So I have 2. Crystal ball set in hole. Crystal ball set in hole. So I have 2. 3 now. Yeah. So I just need 1 more. And that'll kind of start to wrap up the dungeon. Now, it seems like I've been here before because there are no other enemies, but I also recall getting lost the last time I played, so maybe I just got partially through here. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay. That's a good example of how defeating certain enemies will often unlock like progression barriers within a dungeon. And so you're just always encouraged to just fight all the enemies, right? Like, that's how you get stronger. That's how you get through the dungeon. That also opened up a shortcut there for me, which is nice. Ooh, that's a lot of them. Ah. That chest that we saw probably has the crystal ball that I want. And that's the last enemy in here. I can tell that because I just got the force power. Oh, I want in there. Let me in there. Oh. Okay. Let's go down here. You can see there's a ramp, which Freedan somehow can't get up, despite the fact that it's half his height. Same with this ledge. Like, look at it. It's like generously at his shoulders. So I do know what I need to do here. I need to break those as Will. I think I can use his charge and then run and charge, you know, like, and get up on that ramp as Will. And to do so, I need to get into there. Or I can change to Will. And so on the underside, obviously, there's some way to lower that barrier by, you know, utilizing some mechanism down here on the underside over on that side. Now we have a very Zelda-like puzzle here. That's going to like reverse, put these up, put other ones down. And of course I could only get to it with Friedan's Psycho Shot Dark Friar spell. Okay. So yeah, I can turn into Will. And of course, you know, one of the things about Illusion of Gaia is that you have these different characters you can turn into, mostly Will and Friedan for most of the game. But they do have different different abilities, different skills. Friedan is great in combat, just stronger than Will, but Will has the ability to do certain things that Friedan can't. Specifically, now this is going to be a bit of a problem, but specifically he can do this dash, woo, that lets me break things like that. Those statues there. I don't know how to get up there though. Okay. You know what I can do now though? I've moved that as Will. Can I? That's gonna block my way at some point, I expect. There we go. Okay. Now I need to destroy these so I can run, but those pillars that I ran past in the middle, there's 4 in the middle of that one square, those are gonna like block me from being able to run and get that treasure chest, which would have the orb in it. So I need to lower those somehow. And that's going to happen here on the underside of the gardens. So I'm probably going to come up at the bottom, like below that area where Friedan used the switch to lower the pillars so I could access the save area. Ooh, oh boy. Okay. You notice that I just got 5 HP. That was just a heal item. I believe these are added to the retranslation patch. I don't remember there being any real efficient way to heal in the original Illusion of Gaia. And that is a very welcome addition, I would say, to this. Is that, like, you know, having some sort of non-finite way of restoring health, even if you're having to like really grind through a lot of enemies to do it, does make a difference over the course of the game, so that you're not kind of getting yourself in trouble while you're exploring, and using up too many herbs, and then you get to the end of the game and you don't have any healing left, and there's like a boss rush at the end of the game, which can be very difficult if you don't have much in the way of healing items. And I think like one of the like problematic elements of Illusion of Gaia is that you don't really realize until it's too late that health management is a huge part of the challenge of the game. You need to manage your health. You need to make sure that you're not using healing herbs unless they're a last resort. You know, I think I used 2 when I fought the first boss. And that, you know, just feels bad because I know what's coming. And so in this, you know, retranslation patch, it is nice that you do have healing herbs that can heal up your full health. So using 1, you know, by the end game is doubling up as like, you know, using 2. So it does in some ways like effectively double the number of healing herbs in the game. Which is good, but at the same time, like you still just have to be so careful when you use them, and I hate using them. One time when I was playing through on the what's it called, the Super Nintendo, like the SNES Classic, and sorry, I'm just reading. Oh, my bitrate is way too high. I guess, for this stream. Is it choppy? Let me know, chat. Looks okay on my end. I'm not having too many warning signs, but we'll see. Okay. Sorry, what was I saying? I was playing through on the SNES Classic, and I got to the end. I hadn't played it in years to that point. I got to the end, which, again, is a boss rush, and just got to a point where I was having to basically, like, save scum my way through the end of the game because, like, simply because I had used up all my herbs, which is just, like, not ever where you want to be, right? You never really want to feel like you're kind of having to cheat your way through. But I just couldn't get through specifically the vampire duo at that point without healing. That's a bummer. Okay, so can I hit that? I can get over here, but am I supposed to be... Oh, maybe I'm supposed to be Friedan and shoot it? But then I just get stuck in here. Okay, well, maybe I can just get over there now. I might be overthinking it. Okay, so that's up. How do I... Oh, I guess I just want to hit it from this. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Oh, what? Why isn't that... Shouldn't that lower that? Right? I guess it's not lowering and raising them up and down, or whatever. And then, like, what? There's a switch here. Well, that doesn't change any of this. Okay. I want to just hop over that. Just hop over it, Will. Okay. Let's see where else I can go. Here. That's... So that was not... Yeah, so there's... Okay, they're gone now. Maybe it mirrors it? No. Does that have any effect up here? So down... Right? Oh, no, wait, I see. It's, does that even make sense? Ah, there we go. I don't know if I did that. I don't know. But in any case, here we are. I wonder if I can I come back here as Friedan to fight the boss? I'll probably get another save spot. So this is the last of the orbs, crystal balls, and you know what? Look at that! I've got these. I can red jewel. I can send to what's his name, Jim. Oh, that's cool. I like that. Oh yeah, this is a good boss. I feel like I should be able to be Friedan. Could I have, like... Oh my gosh. I'm already low on hit points. I'm already low on health. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I feel like I was supposed to go back and turn into Friedan because I'm taking so much damage and not doing very much. So that's what I'll do. When I came to, I found I had collapsed in a familiar place. Was I having a nightmare? Not a nightmare, dear Will. But I can turn into Friedan over here. I get why you can't initially be Friedan in this area, but I feel like... Oops. It would be nice if once you place the 4th orb, that save spot... You know what? I didn't go back to the save spot after I placed the 4th orb, did I? So maybe it does. Maybe you can become Freedan that way. Like maybe in that save spot, the dark space, maybe it does unlock the ability to turn into Freedan once you place the 4th orb. That would be handy. Okay. I will switch, and then we will go back and fight that boss, which will bring us, I think, you know, to the end of the stream. Hey? Okay. Should I record? Yeah, I lost a life, which I'm bummed about, but well. Again, I guess I just went on a tirade against save scumming, which I actually don't really care about all that much. I don't care if people save scum, especially in single player games, but in Illusion of Gaia, I just felt like it just illustrated the point that I feel like if health management is going to be a core part of your game's like difficulty design, you need to like make sure that that's clear from the get-go. You know, that you're not just managing health items sort of in the moment, or within a dungeon, like say something like Dragon Quest uses like item management as like a core part of its difficulty by making sure that like you manage your resources as you go through a dungeon. As you get stronger, you know, you need fewer resources, you kind of make your way through the dungeon, you know, retreat tactically when you need to. Oh my gosh, I just keep going in circles. You retreat tactically when you need to, but by the time you finish a dungeon, you have an opportunity to stock back up for the next time around. Illusion of Gaia just has no opportunity to stock back up. And so you make choices in the early game that have strong negative impacts on the late game. And so it's not that I really care that much that I had to save scum my way through that. It was more that like without warning your first time through, you're not going to have any idea that a finite number of herbs is going to have such a big impact on your ability to actually finish the game. And it can, you know, it can lead to soft locks for players who get to that point and can't just really beat the end boss, or specifically the boss rush, because the end boss itself isn't actually that hard. It's the boss rush where you fight every boss in the game again. That really, I think, causes a lot of problems. I can't block some of those attacks. Oh my gosh, showdown. Because I can't tell what I can block. I needed to dodge everything. Okay, after defeating the huge bird, you found a mystic statue in its corpse. I love the idea of like looting its corpse while you're on a platform falling through the sky. Hardcore. Okay, so with the boss defeated, I'm turning back into Will, and as I predicted, even with this shortened stream today, I was able to finish this Sky Garden off, which is pretty nice. So we hear, through the sound of a propeller, Neil's voice echoes from a megaphone. Will, you're getting too close to the ground. I'll catch you in my aeroplane, so jump down. Okay. This place is pretty sweet. I just like, it's fun. It's falling like to earth. It looks cool. I like the parallax effect. Good stuff. Here we go. That's a good shot. Look at this. This is cool. Uh-oh. Drat. I missed. Neil, you dummy. Will's going to die. Neil, there's still a little more time before he hits the ground. Do it one more time. All right. This time for sure. You'll see. Man, like, Will trusted him. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, yeah, look at that. That was cool. I like how they have, like, the other kids flying, like, hanging off the plane. Like, As though they need to, like as though Neil couldn't just like go and fly through the sky and save Will on his own. Like, who is that? Lance? I don't know. Yeah, who are those others? Kara's obviously there somewhere, but sniffle, sniffle. Eric says sob. Is that Eric on the back? Kara and Eric, stop crying. We saved Will after all. Lily says, by the way, Neil's amazing, isn't he? Having made a thing like this. Neil says, haha, please don't praise me like that. Anyway, I'll take you to the next ruin with this. If we go by the precedent of the ruins mapping up to the shape of the constellation of Cygnus, the next ruin should be the continent of Mu. All right, out to the ocean. The continent of Mu should be sleeping somewhere in this deep blue sea. Good mode 7 shot. This is the kind of stuff like that I just love about Illusion of Gaia. Like for a 1993 game, just like leaning into everything the Super Nintendo could do, and it just looks beautiful. It has so much personality. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We barely ejected from the airplane. Neil is an amazing inventor, but his products are always missing something. It occurred to me that a perfect person may not exist anywhere. Well, speak for yourself. All right, here we are. So we're just going straight into the next dungeon. This is one of the bigger dungeons in the game, I believe. It always felt that way to me, at least whenever I've played through. I also get lost a lot, which is always fun, as we know. I'll play here until I get to the next save spot and then wrap up the stream. Bit of a short one today. So Will says, when I regained consciousness, I was standing in a bizarre palace. I didn't have any memories from after the parachutes landed in the water, but maybe everyone's safe. That's my assumption when I crash in a plane into the water and have to parachute into the water, is that I'm sure everyone else made it. Like, no big deal. Okay, here we go. We are going to save the game. I'm going to wrap up for today. Thank you so much for everyone who joined me, everyone who's watching this as a VOD afterwards. If you enjoy Illusion of Gaia, if you enjoy watching the streams, like, subscribe, comment, share this, and tune into our regular show, Fun Factor. You can find it anywhere you can get podcasts. You can find it here on YouTube, funfactorpod.com. And this has been a blast. Thank you so much. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.